there we go. So,
cool.
Last we left off, you guys were on your way to the city of Opias, which is sort of in the middle of the city, of the country.
Music might need to be turned down to 16.
Yeah, music's a bit loud. There we go.
Located in the middle of the continent. You guys briefly stopped to assist a gnome man and his half-orc daughter to help them figure out a ghoul problem. But as you guys are starting to approach the city, you can start to see it in the distance. Opias itself is situated on the northern shore of Ivana Lake. For those of you that have more political and economic knowledge, you can kind of recognize that it's fantastically situated within the country. Not only does it have access to this large lake, giving it access to the ability to have fishing and trade by river, in addition to being connected to the surrounding farmland, it is just below the capital, the city called Avatix. And as you guys approach even further, you can start to make out more detail of the buildings along the shoreline. It's a pretty scenic city. Many of the buildings are marble clad and domed with columns and a once popular architectural style, but now looks not outdated, but more antique. This architectural style in particular is characterized by whitewashed walls with ornately decorated eaves and massive arched windows. You guys are approaching towards the eastern gate. Though some of you more familiar with the area know that there are three main gates to the city: the western gate, the northern gate, and the eastern gate. Since you guys headed east around the lake, Ivana Lake, you're heading down the path, and ahead of you, you can see a farmer with a cart full of peaches speaking to the guards standing outside of the gates.
Not my peaches. My cabbages.
Hey, I already threw in the cabbage merchant reference. You guys found a cart full of cabbages and the bandit loot.
That just reminds me of like this random spilled carriage of cabbage I found in Skyrim once. I'm like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way.
Is there just the farmer? Is the farmer like taking up the entire gate, or?
Nah, his cart isn't too big. It looks like he was just. If you had to guess, he's probably one of the farmers in the surrounding area. And he's pulling in his cart to maybe sell off some peaches before heading home. The gate is huge. He's just there talking. And as you guys watch, he finishes speaking to the guards and continues on his way into the city.
Well, I'm gonna approach the gate.
All right.
Thanks.
The guards standing there, they're both human. Is it just Demir approaching the gate, or is everyone else doing so too?
I'll be there.
Yeah.
All right. So the guards kind of look you guys up and down, and if anyone wants to roll an insight check, they can.
That's not
Sure. I will commence with the attempts at inciting.
fair. That's a 12.
That's a 22.
Yeah.
That's going to be a 13 from me, gamer.
All right. Yeah, you guys can tell that the guards can kind of recognize a group of low-level adventurers when they see one. Lish in particular can tell that they're kind of bored and tired. They're not unfamiliar with groups of weird people coming up to the gate. Figures, hey, either they'll be the next big adventuring crew or they'll die. It's fine. It doesn't matter to him. He's just doing his job. So
Probably the latter.
they kind of, yeah, more often the latter. They look you up and down, like, anything to declare?
No.
Anyone else say anything?
I think of it dressed.
Sorry, Aaron, you cut out a bit there.
I said that I also didn't have anything to declare.
Okay.
Do we look like we're carrying anything?
We do.
Whoa.
All right.
He does.
I'd say
So, make sure you stay on the correct side of the law.
Always.
And you should not face much trouble within the city. And the guard waves up and the gates open once more. And you are welcome into the city.
Thank you.
So as you start to walk down the path, you can sort of see that this is a rather large road. There's some buildings on either side, of course, with smaller roads that are branching off on either side. There's people going about their business. It's a mostly human town, but that doesn't mean that there aren't people of other races too. There are a couple of citizens having a chat off to the side. There's a group of children playing tag. Just the average kind of stuff and people you'd see in a city. What do you guys do?
I say to Demir, because I'm a little closer to her, and kind of make a casual note as we're walking by. It's gotten a lot bigger since I was here last.
You've been here before?
Not like this.
I'm looking around for is there like a blacksmith shop anywhere around?
Oh, sure.
Roll a perception check.
All right. Oh, that's much.
May I roll one of...
Go for it.
Yes.
That is a I want to say 21.
21. You're able to figure pretty quickly that this is a more of a residential area. However, as you're walking, you see a creature you're not particularly familiar with in your home country. They're not as common, but as you're sorry about the rustling in the background. As you're watching, a tabaxi comes up to your group. He is black and white by color, and he has yellow eyes, and his clothes are rather unremarkable, with a simple like belted tunic and trousers. And he kind of approaches you guys casually. And he
Cats 2019, it's coming for us.
I could tell that you are not a native inhabitant of the city here.
What did you say this person was called?
He does not introduce himself yet, but he's a tabaxi. He's a cat person. Tabaxi.
Okay. I never heard that one before, so I was like, what is that?
That's unique.
But in D&D.
Basically, yeah.
Here I'm going to post a picture of him in the chat, just real quick. Here he is.
Yeah.
Except he's wearing clothes because he's not a fucking nudist.
That's good.
He's got a 13-page backstory, so we better not ignore him.
You enter the city and are approached by a nudist tabaxi.
He sits down in front of you and starts licking his groin. But he approaches you guys. You do not seem to be natives of the city. I've never seen you in town before.
I've never seen you before.
I happen to have lived here in Opias most of my life. I would be happy to give you a tour for 1 silver piece each.
Yeah, sure.
So he holds out his hand, and for those of you unfamiliar with tabaxi, their hands are sort of like a weird combination of paws and hands. It's kind of weird, but it's D&D, so it's normal, I guess.
Just think of Disney's Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's got toe beams, but
those aren't toes.
But yeah, so he holds out his hand paw thing. Who else is willing to pay him?
Throw in a silver.
There's something more behind this tour.
I mean, you can roll an insight check if you want.
Yes, I would like to do that.
No necessarily good reason.
That's a 23. 17 on the die.
I mean, you get the impression that he's kind of a shifty bastard, but he's willing to do the tour. He's like, hey, look, here's some tourist fucks. I can make some money off of them.
It's not going to be a great tour, but it'll be a tour.
It'll be a tour of his favorite
He'll probably
places,
get you to most of the more important landmarks of the city. But he doesn't particularly care about you guys. It's just sweet. I see a chance for some money here.
I can't believe he's not a bleeding heart for us. That's the second after meeting us. We're not even bleeding hearts for each other yet.
And after we're all such obviously and inherently likable people.
Dare my 20 charisma not play a part in this?
So Demir's paying him.
I don't have any silver. I only have gold.
Same.
I mean,
I just kind of made change. Does he make change?
You have.
Are you asking him if he makes change?
No. Hold on. How many of us are there?
I think it's 10 silver per gold.
Yeah. I mean,
So you'd be
money doesn't
overpaying him
matter.
about 4
I can
silver.
give a gold for everybody. Just cover everybody.
All right, so you do that.
I don't care. I flick him a gold.
Okay. He takes the gold
Okay.
along with the silver piece that Demi had already given him and pockets them like in one kind of swift motion. He's like, excellent. I'm very happy.
You
My
tip
name-
well.
My
Demir's
name
pissed.
is Ink. And if you'll please follow me, he starts leading the way down the road you are already walking on. And as he walks, he's occasionally, it's very interesting the way he's giving this tour, because he occasionally points to things kind of casually gesturing with his hand, but other times he points at things with his tail. He's a cat person, why not, you know?
Keeps asking.
And as he talks, there are 3 districts of Opias. The one you find yourself in right now is the residential district, and you are on the East Road. If you are in the city, it is frequently called a homeward bound, as that is where most of the city's denizens go when returning home for the evening. And as you walk, you're in the city. You guys know, like, that there's the sound of cities. There's people talking, wares clattering when applicable, carts rattling. But as you guys are walking down the homeward bound road, you could sort of hear this loud hum of chatter that's getting louder the longer you walk on the road. And Ink says, up ahead is the Merchants District, and it is by far the largest district in the city. This area is home to much of Opias's trade, both legal and illegal. Wherever money changes hands, temper and greed can get the best of most civil men. So it can be dangerous if you talk to the wrong people. It's quite a good thing that you found me.
Yes, definitely.
Up ahead is the Grand Bazaar. And as you walk in, this is a rather circular area. And it's something of like a large courtyard, and it seems to be the crown jewel of the city, so to speak. And those of you who are more perceptive, you can see that other than the large road you're standing on, there are 3 other roads going north, west, and south, as you could probably guess, branching from this area. And there are very few buildings in the area, with the vast majority of the goods in the bazaar being sold from tents, carts, portable stages, and merchant wagons. It's quite an interesting thing to look at, because many of the merchants are using dancers or illusionists to try to draw a sufficient crowd to make a sale. And through all of the chaos of this area, in the very center, you can see a large copper statue of a human woman spilling coins out of her hands, and that there are daffodils and a lion at her feet. And if anyone wants to make a religion check, you can.
Oh, this is fun. This is much better.
You all right there, Devin?
Just dropping all of my dice.
It
17.
happens. Yeah, easy enough. this statue, if the goddess it's devoted to isn't really common from where you come from, but you've been down south long enough to tell that this is Joaquin, the goddess of trade.
That would make sense. All right.
And Ink is sort of walking along the perimeter of the market, not wanting to lose you guys necessarily after you're so generous with your tip. You guys move along the northern perimeter, which he gestures to with his paw and says, "This one is the North Road, nicknamed the Academics Road because it leads to the National Archives. It might not intrigue you. I'm not sure any of you look like wizardly types."
Is there, is that where you can find the library or archives?
Yes, that's where it leads to the National Archives, and it is not the most interesting part of the city, to be
I want to see it.
honest. It leads to the Wise District. Most of the governmental buildings are located there.
What is the most interesting part of the city, in your opinion?
Ooh.
Roll a persuasion check.
That is an 18.
18? Let's see. If you like a little bit of fun, I would recommend going to the brothel. There are lots of different sorts of forms of entertainment there. I'm sure you'd find most of it.
Obvious.
Aaron's gonna blush deeply and not say anything.
No, Flish seems like super impressed at that. He's like, is there anything that goes on at the brothel that's more than just paying for things that you can get for free?
The Siren's Call, if you're looking for a little bit of fun or conversation. You can find it in the residential district, and he gestures towards the east, more where you guys came from. You continue on moving counterclockwise until you get to the western road. This one is called, I suppose, Temple Town. Most of the city's temples are along the road. And looking down the road, you can see the largest temple is to Joaquin, has the symbol of a coin over sort of a large Roman sort of style building with a large coin with the symbol of Joaquin on it and columns. But there are also smaller temples to other popular deities in the city. And you know from talking to your friend last time that there's a temple to Saloon somewhere in the city, and if you had to guess, it's probably along that road. Ink continues on. Now, if you head south, you will be taken toward towards the docks. The south road is called Wharfway. You may be able to find warehouses there. There's a smithy, I believe. It doesn't much matter to me, though. Thank you very much for your service. And if there's anything else you need to know about town, since you paid me so handsomely for my tour.
I found what I need.
Excellent doing business with you. And he slips off into the crowd.
So how big is the trading area? Is it like a pretty big
It's pretty big, yeah. And like as you guys were walking, he had been pointing out kind of some of the smaller buildings along the edge, but if you're looking at the Grand Bazaar, there are, as I said, there are lots of different tents and carts, a whole bunch of fun stuff.
Lish seems kind of excited to like look around all of the shiny and colorful things.
It's a lot to look at.
I'm kind of take Demir's hand and just be like, let's go look. Let's go look.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting to look at. There's tents, there's dancers, there's people singing, there's like a couple of people standing on the edges singing for coin, trying to entertain. There's little people hauling crates to and fro. It's very busy and very exciting.
Aaron's hell overwhelmed and keeps on just stopping and looking around, and then realizing that the group has moved on and running to catch up with them.
Tobias is looking a little overwhelmed.
Some of the buildings along the edges are taking part of the thoroughfare. You guys can look around if you like.
Yes.
You looking for anything in particular?
Nope.
Tobias is gonna look for a place where have tools to do leather work to prep a hide to be turned into a leather book.
You would probably know that in smaller towns, there's a blacksmithy could usually work for that. They're good for tanning hides, usually to be turned into armor, but otherwise I'm sure if you looked around you could find a taxidermy shop.
I'm not really sure if I'll find it here, but I'm looking for any cold iron that might be for sale.
All right, you can roll an investigation check.
Get another hobby.
Hang on.
I am distracting her from any such wares. I'm pointing her towards pretty baubles, nice jewelry, silks.
14.
I'm keeping an eye out for rookeries or any other avian-based messaging facilities.
You roll perception check, and then Demir, you had gotten a
14.
14.
You distract her.
You don't see too many places for that. If there aren't many. This is more of an area for like wares, for people trying to sell like services or objects, stuff like that.
No hamsas even?
You do know that there is a magic item shop that is not too far along the edge from where you guys had come to the grove there from Homeward Bound. This one of the magic item shops is it's one of the actual buildings instead of a space set up in the middle of the market. Let's see, Lish, you're pretty perceptive, and so is B. You two notice that there seems to be someone in the crowd that's keeping their eyes on you. You're kind of getting that little prickly feeling in the back of your necks.
With a cat or somebody else. Can we see?
Roll a perception check.
Oh, I got a natural 1.
Ow.
I got a natural 20 plus.
The duality of man.
I was going to say.
I got distracted by how good at noticing Lish is.
Maybe you saw like, some shiny thing or another. I think you mentioned looking for rubies or whatever.
Yeah. B, you're distracted. You're
Bubbles.
You've noticed maybe a couple of birds that have landed on the statue of Joaquin in the middle of the square. So you kind of just shake your head and dismiss the prickly feeling as your imagination, sort of like a Skyrim NPC.
And I got a 10 to.
All right. And Lish, however, you notice someone sort of keeping their distance, but watching you guys as a whole. And Max, if you'd like to describe your character.
Sure.
Oh, creep. Staring us down.
So, they're standing a little tall, but not quite, about average height, 5'10"-ish. They look very slim, and they are covered head to toe in leather armor and dark cloth. You can't see even a single square inch of their actual body. And covering their face is an almost bird-like mask. I'll post a picture of it, more or less, in campaign images. I just need to find the one I linked to Avery.
The bird theme. Hell yeah.
Just a
Heck
moment. Let me
yeah.
find the mask. Here it is.
Is it a
Copy
plague doctor?
image. It is not. No, that's too big.
This just said all indeed.
I'm gonna post. I'm just gonna post his character information like thing.
A friend for B.
B, if you'd been less distracted by all of those small birds, you could have seen the giant bird right over there.
Man, oh man.
The thing that he didn't describe is that it's
There we
all
go.
light yellow, like I know.
It's in character descriptions.
Ooh.
Oh, owl face.
That is, ooh.
We're here to traumatize people today.
Yep.
Like more boards.
So like vigilante superhero type person vibes.
Maybe he looks.
You
more
don't
like,
know.
Who knows?
Does it seem familiar to me at all? Is there any like thing with the mask as far as like an organization or something that I
Roll an insight check.
probably not very good at that in this specific case? Yeah, perfect. Thank you, dice, for making my instincts just perfect. 'Cause that was a 2 on the die. That's an 8 total.
There's kind of
My dice.
something scratching at the back of your head, and you can't quite put your finger on it.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna just kind of carry on. I'm not gonna draw attention to it unless he starts kind of seeming like he's getting closer or something like that. Keeping an
Max, do you start getting closer?
I'm gonna keep my distance.
Okay.
But yeah, keeping an eye out, monitoring the situation.
So you guys are in the middle of this kind of chaos zone. People are trying to sell you things. There's music, there's people talking, there's people haggling. While you guys are looking around, Demi remembers the magic shop that Ink had pointed out. Otherwise, Ink had mentioned briefly a blacksmith closer towards the docks. While you guys are looking around, you also see what kind of looks like an old circus tent.
I'm gonna head into the magic shop.
Okay.
Yeah, since we're over here anyway.
So this shop is closer to the Eastern Road, homeward bound. And it's from the outside you can see this is an actual like building rather than a tent or setup. It's much like that of the other nearby buildings, 2 stories high, made of like polished marble, but instead of a domed roof, it has a slanted slate roof. And there are green banners all over the building, making the building itself look kind of bright and stand out against the other buildings nearby to a certain extent. And the banners have a golden embroidery on them, creating a symbol of a necklace crossing a wand, which the latter of which has sparks kind of spilling out of it, just in the embroidery. And instead of a front door, there are more curtains and beads within the door frame that is that's somewhat reminiscent of a Tigwayan style.
Well, I'm just gonna go on in.
All right. Inside there are a multitude of different shelves around the area, and within the center of the room and along the edge of the wall, there are glass display cases with odd trinkets within, and all of this is illuminated by ever-burning candles on the shelves. And on the far wall, opposite where you guys came in, there is a finely polished wooden counter. Behind the counter, there's a doorway with a curtain similar to that of the entrance, but this one has like a sign kind of crudely hung up with the curtains that says "Do not enter, employees only" in common, and then repeating in Sylvan and Elvish.
All right. Is there someone behind the desk?
Not right now, but there's one of those little bells.
I'm gonna join Demir going inside this place and just kind of start sweeping the cabinets, taking a look.
All right. Are you looking at like the shelves or the trinkets?
Whichever's is closer to the door.
That would be the trinkets. These ones seem to be like little oddities on display. There's a silver polished mirror with the visage of a Medusa on the back of it. next to it, there is a large 20-sided die. And these things are just little oddities. They don't have any display information, but it's the kind of vibe of going into an art museum and seeing like kind of old pieces of art just off to the side.
Are they like behind glass, sort of?
Yeah, they're in display cases.
Is it very traditional magician vibes in here, or is it more of an occulty sort of thing? You're saying it's more display case, so probably more wizardy.
More wizardy as far as you can tell. Roll perception or insight, your choice.
Same. That's a 17 on the die, so a 20.
Yeah. You get the impression that these are objects collected by either the shop owner themselves or by people who've come in and traded them in, and that the shop owner probably just liked and wanted to put on display. Some of them are probably magical, some of them probably aren't. They seem to be things that he, she, or they just thought were neat.
I will continue to browse.
All right.
Are there any books, or I'm looking for like I said, I'm looking for cold iron. I'm looking for any books. I'm not really ringing the bell. I'm just kind of.
Is there anything of an inclination that Demir or I would be interested in? Biologically or otherwise?
Well, define interested.
Is it from my home?
Well, not necessarily, but you do see something sitting on top of one of the shelves that kind of catches your attention. It's kind of odd. It looks like a toy frog, like a little clockwork sort of deal. It's ticking, and it's just sitting up there. And as you move around the room, it actually moves to look at you.
At Lish, or both of us?
At anyone who's in the shop. It's kind of just like keeping an eye.
Okay.
Oh god, it's a magical elf on the shelf.
And at this point, someone comes out from behind the curtain. At first glance, he seems to be a dark-skinned tiefling with ram's horns curling around his head. His hair is black and it's kind of in twists on his head, pulled off to one side. He has a little bit of a beard and facial hair along his jawline. And at the tip of his nose, there are silvery glasses. But on closer inspection, you realize that this man is not actually a tiefling. This man is a satyr.
Ooh, wow.
And Lish, you'd probably know this. This a word that's used to describe in Sylvan any fae or descendant of fae that have chosen to leave the Feywild and settle on a different plane permanently, usually the material plane, is called a Hufkinvad, which I can spell out for you.
Please.
I'll put it into the chat. But for those of you listening to this recording in the future, HOFKIINVOD, which roughly translates to home gone in Sylvan.
Cool.
Home gone.
Zamir is going to see him and immediately heel turn and walk back towards the door.
Oh.
That's not very polite. Does he look like he's a full-blooded satyr, or like had different parents, or?
He looks like a full-blooded satyr, and when he speaks, Demi, you would recognize this as you're leaving. His accent is more Tigwayan. Welcome, friends. How may I help you on this fine day?
Is Demi just going? Is she not gonna stop?
Just browsing, thank you. And I'm just gonna keep walking towards the door unless someone stops me.
Kind of just like looking at Demir with raised eyebrows, and then looks back at Lish, says, "Is there anything you're looking for in particular, my friend?"
He kind of like looks over to where Demir's like leaving.
And as you're leaving, Demir, the little clockwork frog jumps from one shelf to another and continues to watch you.
Security systems, so good. Did anybody else join us in this magic shop? Nobody else wanted to see the magic shop?
No, Tobias would have gone to look for taxidermy.
Funny you mentioned that. Since Lish rolled a 20, I'm just going to give this to him. That strange figure is near the entrance.
You're just standing outside. Oh no!
No, he's inside.
Just like
Oh God.
through the window.
No, he like stepped through the doorway and he's like hanging out around there.
Pre-blocking the door so that Demir can't leave.
No,
Interaction.
he's seemingly pretending to be interested in the merchandise.
Mm.
If Demir is leaving, though, is she?
I think Lish would try and catch her. Demir, don't you want to take a look around?
No, I'm fine.
It's awfully rude.
She just kind of takes a deep breath, shoulders sag a little, and then kind of like starts poking around the shelves, but like clearly is only doing it just until Lish loses interest in the shop.
So I catch a look at Hawk outside the window-ish.
Oh no, he's in the shop. Like,
he's in it with us. Oh no,
he's doing
here.
the same.
I thought he was just outside.
No, he's third wheeling your tape.
No, he's doing basically the same thing Demir is now doing, pretending to feign interest in the like merchandise in the shop.
It's so awkward all of a sudden. Oh no.
Perfect.
Fuck. Oh geez. Okay, knowing that, actually, I think I wouldn't have stopped Demir from leaving. So I would have followed her back outside.
As you leave, the figure raises his voice a little and goes, "Excuse me. You two, leaving. Hello?"
Yes.
Hi. I don't know how to put this into words, but I think there's something you must see.
Well, make your case then.
He reaches back into What you assume might be a pocket, it's really just like a groove in his armor, just like underneath the leather pad, and pulls out a kind of beaten up looking parchment, unfolds it with like delicately, and presents it to you both. Picture first. Avery can tell you what you see.
So in the picture, it's more of a rough sketch, and it's not professionally done. It's more like, when you're walking down New York and there are the caricature artists, and then there are the art people who are like, hey, I'll actually draw you. It's kind of one of those vibes. It's not a caricature. But you do recognize some very familiar faces in the picture. It is a group of people, and your eyes sort of sweep across the page, and you see a human woman with curly hair, and you see a taller Azamar and a bird person. You see a picture of your group, but everyone's slightly older, and it's kind of odd. And when you look at the picture, you recognize that tingling sensation that was in the back of your head a little bit ago that you couldn't identify. It's the same sort of, there's that same sort of familiarity that you had when looking at the rest of the group when you woke up in the field. Like, I feel like I should know this person, but I can't quite place them. And in this picture, actually, there is included the strange person that you see standing before you.
Said strange person has one hand, his free hand, up to his head, almost gently cradling it. You feel that too, don't you?
What?
Who are you?
My name is Hawk. I feel like I should know yours, but it doesn't come back. I can't say if it should come to me or come back to me. It's such a frustrating feeling.
I'll take the paper. And where did you get this? Make this?
I didn't make this.
I saw you following us outside in the merchant's square. How long have you been following us for?
Only a couple minutes now. I found that just scattered among my possessions about a week ago. I woke up and it was there. And I felt that same tingling feeling that I do now. And something called me here. I wish there was a better way to explain it.
Who are you again?
My name is Hawk. I've been a hunter in this area for perhaps 3 years or more now.
Oh, I am insight checking the fuck out of this.
Go for it.
Wow, that is not great. That is, let's see, 11.
11. Hawk, if you want to quickly roll persuasion or deception, whatever you feel best fits your word.
Persuasion or deception, you say?
Mm-hmm. Without giving anything away.
I've got a negative modifier in both, so let's see how this goes. First, I need to actually get a d20 out. Actually, you know what? That's not very good. That's an 8 in roll 20.
Demir, you get the impression that he's being pretty truthful. And by the way, it should be noted that the satyr is watching you guys. His little tiny
There's my
frog
D20.
construct. The frog is over on his desk, and he's kind of got one hand on it casually, and he's watching you guys, but also saying something to the construct.
Frog. Can I
Perhaps we should take this outside.
I can read.
More mysterious friends. You know, I'm going to do you a favor and say I think you should probably go get yourself some iron and salt and get very far away from us.
No,
Okay.
I'm sorry, but I can't take that advice.
Why not?
It's terribly much to explain, but I've been searching for someone for years, and I cannot help but feel that maybe my answers lie with you. Such a weird thing happening all of a sudden. It can't be a coincidence, can it?
Weird things happen to me all the time. So, you just get used to it. Like I said, iron and salt.
Demir, I told you
Yeah.
it's not my fault. I do not know this man.
Who else's fault would it be?
Again, maybe we should take this outside. I think we caused a scene. Hawk kind of just nervously glances over to the shopkeep.
The shopkeep is well, I'll tell you what, roll an insight check.
Oh boy. I've actually found my D20 this time. Fumbled it, that's an 11.
11. I mean, it's pretty easy to tell. He can tell that something's going on between you guys, and he's like, I do not really want to be a part of this. If they want to buy magic items from me, they can, but something's going on here, and I am going to not listen. I'm going to talk to my friend Frog here,
Look,
and I'm not going to be
the
a part of this.
Whoa,
It's,
what's
a,
I
it's
will
okay,
intervene.
Froggy.
I don't know how to
At least
listen.
I have you.
I will intervene if they start wrecking up my shop, but I am not going to listen to these guys.
I appreciate a discretionary shopkeep, that for certain.
Hell yeah.
I don't know how we can help you. I don't. We've been making our merry way on our own. These back of mind thoughts are troublesome but meaningless. We have our own goals we're trying to aspire to. Demir, you have plenty of things that you're looking for, isn't that right?
That is right.
You say it's meaningless, but I'm not convinced. I'd been on my own for years doing the same things, and then all of a sudden this strange drawing just appeared out of nowhere, and I have felt a call for the first time in my life.
A call stronger than whomever this person is you've been looking for. And who is this
Yes.
person?
Her name is Rosania. She was my mentor. She taught me how to survive out there, and then one day she left without a word.
He says kind of aside to Demir, like, this is a whole group of people that have lost people. You'd think that they'd do a simple thing to just keep track of a person that they care about. You know, very simple. Just keep track of the people in their lives. But
And yet I seem to have the opposite problem.
I'm standing right here, you know.
oh, I know. I know. I am aware. saying that your situation seems very reminiscent of the other people that have seemed to follow Demir and I across the... So...
Do they, by chance, look like the ones in the picture?
They were behind us in the market. They're in the market as well. Did you not see them?
Not everyone. Keep in mind that some of them are a little on the shorter side.
Ooh.
Listen, Kenku are not tall.
They're not tall.
Well,
B is
The others-
gonna kind of coo and say, possible reinforcements in Demir's voice.
I don't think he is there. I think it's just the three of us.
Oh,
Are
is
you
it?
looking at-
Okay.
I mean,
We went into the shop
it's
with
up
us.
to you. I was actually going to touch bases with you in a moment. I know that Irin and Demir were the ones that went into the shop. Lish and Demir, I mean. And then Irin and B, I was going to ask you guys if you guys were going to go with Lish and Demir, or if you're going to follow Tobias to either the taxidermy shop or the blacksmith, and I was going to get to you guys in a moment.
Yeah.
I would probably go with Demir.
Okay.
I'm definitely going with B.
Okay.
Sure, why not? Join this doomed party if you want. Demir is going to kind of like leave the shop after that, like just like, fine, whatever, fine, join us. Creepy, whatever the hell he has planned, fine.
This might as well
Listen to me
happen at this
anyway.
point.
Lish
I-
kind of sighs and rolls his eyes and just shrugs and goes to follow Demir.
Please believe me when I say my intentions are pure, and you won't regret this, I promise.
As he leaves, he'll hand the drawing off to Aaron or B, whomever takes it.
I'll take it.
And when you look at it, it's kind of odd. You kind of get that same feeling like, I feel like I should know this, but I can't. And you're looking at the picture, and it's all of you guys as a group, but slightly older and with slightly better equipment.
Is there a moment where Lish has kind of wandered off, but Hawk hasn't yet?
Is Hawk gonna keep following us? Or
No, he's made things awkward enough between you two.
well, you can stick with B and Aaron now.
He is going to
We're immune to being
look
awkward.
pointedly between Hawk and Lish and say, keep your wits about you. And then scamper up to catch up with the rest of them.
And on his way out, he's gonna say, I already promised someone that I'd help them find the person they were missing, but maybe I can slot you in after that. And then follow off after B.
Oh, they're in a hurry.
The
Hawk's gonna.
shopkeeper
Hawk's
is
gonna.
very confused.
Everybody's gonna follow Demir now.
Okay. So while all this is going on, Ruth had to duck out, I'm afraid. So I'm just going to say that Levy went with Tobias. Tobias, were you going to go to the taxidermy place, or were you going to try to find the blacksmith?
Probably just the blacksmith, now that I think about it, because he knows how to make leather, and so he just needs access to the tools to do it.
Okay. So you head south on down Wharf Way, and as you get closer to the docks, there are fewer like more what look like residential buildings or shops. There are more warehouses and small huts along with the other buildings, and there are cranes that are there made of wood, cord, rope. They differ in size from like 10-ish to 30-ish feet. And if you had to guess, they're probably used for loading or offloading various materials from the trade ships that are making their way to the harbor. Roll investigation. I would say with Levy's help, you can have advantage.
Or first was an 11, second was a 21.
Okay. Easy enough. You find a blacksmith shop called Ushkal's Metal Mastery. There's the forge outside along with a smelter, and there actually is a tanning rack out there, and it's pretty easy to find because it's a blacksmith and it's pretty fucking loud. And as you approach, there is a very large half-orc man. He's I'd probably say over 7 feet tall, and he's hammering something on an anvil.
Excuse me, sir.
He kind of pauses what he's doing, kind of gives like a hold on a minute gesture, finishes what he's hammering, then sticks it in a vat of oil, wipes his hands off, and says, "What can I do to help you?"
If it's all right, I was wondering if I could borrow your tanning rack momentarily. And he pulls out the deer skin that he had was carrying with him. I have there's a friend who I want to make a leather book for, but I first need to tan the hide.
Roll persuasion check.
Ooh, that is a 3.
He kind of thinks for a minute and says, "I'd prefer to make sure that my tools are kept in the hands of myself or someone I know a little bit better. However, I would be willing to tan that for you for a price."
How much would it be?
And he kind of like looks over the skin. Let's call it a gold piece. It's a bit of a large skin you got there.
That's fine by me. Tobias will give him a gold piece.
All right. So he takes it and he takes it and while he's holding it in his hand, this is like, "Come back at the end of the day and I should have this ready enough for you."
I will. Thank you very much.
Anyone else doing anything? I guess, Tobias, is there anything else you wanted to accomplish? I think the other people have a little bit of time confusing that poor merchant.
Tobias is going to help Levy try and find Poet or any leads to Poet, but if Ruth isn't here.
Okay.
Also, what was our starting gold again?
You guys came from the East Road.
No, I mean our starting gold, our currency.
Oh,
That
okay.
depends on your backstory,
Yeah.
I think, or your background. I
The
think.
background you chose
Goody.
lists how much gold you got.
Yeah, it goes with the starting equipment.
Yep.
Yeah, there was
Okay.
the starting gold of whatever it said in your background, and then you guys got some stuff from the bandits.
And then what was this stuff we got from bandits? Because dumb me didn't write it down.
Did you put it on the
Find
server
that.
at any point?
Just
I
give me a
had
sec.
I had written it down. Let's see.
I got it. So, Naivin the Bloody had 14 gold pieces, 24 silver pieces, and 55 copper on her body. There was the iron key to the loot room, and a vial of acid, which was used immediately to melt the lock. A much smaller brass key, and then a small pouch of gems worth 20 gold pieces. Then in the storage room, there was a theater mask of a goblin, a cart of cabbages, 15 pairs of ugly socks, a straw doll, 9 trail rations, an amateurly made clay jar, and then the small wooden box, which was unlocked with the brass key that Naivin had. There was a wooden wand with a vine design on it, which was revealed to be a wand of flowers, a scroll of paths without a trace that Levy took, I believe. Then a copper amulet, which your gnome friend revealed was not magical, but it has an imprint of an eye with a single star in the people that B has.
Alright. And did we split the gold that was, or split the money that was on Navin's body or not?
I believe so, yeah.
Cool. Then I will calculate out how much Tobias has exactly later.
Mhm.
But I know he at least has 1 gold.
You should be good there. All right. So you're helping Levy. Let's see. Levy would know that Poet is the kind of tiefling that liked to learn things and do research. So she would know that he would probably, if he were here, go to the archives. However, you, Tobias, know that Demir seemed pretty interested in going there herself. So we probably want to wait for the group to go there.
Okay, then I guess we'll go try and find Demir.
Yeah. So you guys head back from the docks, kind of taking in the sights of the city. Levy is staying close to Tobias because she's feeling overwhelmed with all of the chaos of the Grand Bazaar. And you guys managed to find each other after a little while. And Tobias and Levy see that there's someone wearing a weird mask that's kind of trailing along with the group.
Tobias looks tired. He already looks drained from just walking around the city all day. And upon seeing the new person, he's going to appear very wary.
Hawk just shyly waves.
It's the mask. It's the mask that looks unnerving.
Does he say that, or?
Bird face.
Upon seeing the mask, Tobias is going to look at it kind of skeptically. Would Tobias recognize, like, is the mask from an would Tobias be able to tell if the mask was like from an organization or a group or anything like that?
Perception or history?
Let's do
The time warp again?
history. Apparently I have advantage in that. Who fucking cares though? 16.
16. No, not really. Just looks like a mask. It's not as fancy as the Goblin Theater mask you guys had seen before. It's kind of just a mask.
An extra detail I'd like to throw in, if Tobias is so inclined. It looks like it was actually like hand carved. So it's not like completely smooth or anything. It's a little rough around the edges.
On noticing that detail, he will relax a little bit.
In the drawing, is the figure of Hawk wearing the mask as well?
Yes.
In lieu of anyone saying anything else, Aaron is just gonna scream, "We found another one!"
You draw a couple of looks from like the people nearby, like,
Oh yeah.
what the fuck is that dude doing? And before they're going about their business.
Thinking about who the fuck that was.
Please don't.
You always wear that thing.
Yes.
Why?
Hawk just stays silent, doesn't answer for a bit. I'd rather not.
Clearly it doesn't have a face. It's rude to ask, huh?
Let's just leave it as I like this mask. All right.
Likes it a lot, apparently.
Aaron's gonna settle up. He doesn't have to. Don't worry. You don't have to show parts of your face you're not okay with. And I would like to point out at this point that Aaron just has a giant ass burn on this side of his face.
Noted. Thank you.
Tobias, where'd you wander off to?
I stopped by the blacksmith to get the hide that I had skinned tanned. I wanted to follow up and make me that book that I said I would.
You found the blacksmith. Can you show me?
Yes, it's this way.
Demir is going to put her arm in Tobias's arm. Lead the way.
He like stiffens a little uncertain. He's like, "What? Oh, okay, sure." And then like kind of nervously leads her towards the south docks where the blacksmith is.
Excellent. Yeah, Demir's not saying anything about it. She just slipped her arm in. So I'm going to go into the blacksmith shop.
So you head into the shop and actually Tobias, you do not see the piece of leather that you had Ushkal working on, but you're not particularly surprised about that because you know that for tanning leather it needs to be like you'd already taken care of dehairing and degreasing and desalting it, but you do know that in order to be properly tanned it needs to be soaked in water for about 6 hours before it can be worked on. So you figure it's probably off, and he's working on that sharpening that piece of metal he had been hammering out earlier, and you realize it's slowly turning into a dagger.
As they're going in, B hangs back and walks with Hawk. She's going to sign at him to see if he will understand that.
Hawk just kind of looks at her. Because of the mask, she can't actually read his facial expression, but he seems a little puzzled.
I've been trying to trap that rat. Had that rat trap over.
And she's going to, at that, say, I'm B. I don't talk, and hold out her hand. In Erin's voice, I believe.
Oh, I'm Hawk. Nice to meet you. Hawk reaches down and accepts the handshake. Or at least he hopes it's a handshake.
For Grand Bazaar.
Joke's on you, the cleric has 20 strength. Roll reflex or get suplexed.
Just suplex him.
Reflex save.
All joking aside, B, if you're looking for someone that speaks in sign language, you recall back to last time, the gnome you were talking to before, Mr. Periwinkle Lotus. He spoke sign language, and he had sort of briefly alluded to that if you were looking for someone who spoke sign language in the city, you could probably find some in the temple to Saloon. You guys had a little conversation in sign language, and that's mostly what you were talking about. Like, oh hey, the high priestess is deaf. So, just so you know.
Alright. Good to know.
So inside of the shop, Demir and Tobias, what are you guys doing?
Demir will kind of let go of Tobias and walk up to the desk and just Salam alaikum. Hello.
Hello, how can I help you?
Do you have any cold iron in stock?
And there's recognition in your eye, when in his eye when he hears you say cold iron, and looking around at some of his wares. There's some of his wares on display on the walls. They're in they're in a more northern style, and just based on your knowledge when trying to figure out more about cold iron before, you know, it tends to be made more in the north. You don't know the specifics of how it's made, but you know it's more of a northern craft. And he kind of scratches his beard a bit and hang on, Molo, stop eating a lollipop. Anyway, he scratches his beard and says, I haven't made cold iron for a long time. You need a cold forge to make that. I might have something. Might have something laying around. Let me check. And he once again sets the dagger aside and starts to look around in his things, and hang on.
As he's looking around, Tobias is gonna murmur to Demir, any particular reason why you're looking for cold steel other than the obvious one?
The obvious one is pretty apparent, don't you think?
and he comes back at this point with a dagger, and it seems to shine in the way that's familiar to you. And he says, I'm afraid this is all I've got here right now.
Perfect. I will take it. Do you have any horseshoes, perhaps, in stock as well?
Yeah, I've got horseshoes. The cold iron dagger would cost you about 4 gold pieces. You'd have to go up north to find more. I'm afraid. Horseshoes. Are you looking for like magical horseshoes or
just a regular kind?
All right. Horseshoes. Let's see what I've got here. And then he comes back and brings out, like, he's a big, strong half-orc dude. He comes out and brings out like this crate of horseshoes, and he's like, all right, what sort of size are you looking for here? Are you looking for more of a pony size, or are you looking for war horse size, or
for choice?
Any size, any one that you have in stock. I am not picky. I'm not trying to shoe a horse, so I'll take 3 of them, if that's okay.
All right. That would run you about let's call it. You seem pretty nice, and I'll give you a discount because you're buying the cold iron. Not many people have much use for that. Let's say is the silver piece each.
All right. I will give him 4 gold and 4 silver. Oop. I accidentally added it instead of taking it away. Thank you very much for your business.
Of course, anytime.
And I will take the dagger and the horseshoes and turn to Tobias and say, well,
shall we be going?
All right. And I will leave.
Ishgal says to Tobias on his way out, should have the leather done for you about 8 this evening. I'll see you around then.
Thank you, sir. He's gonna follow Demir out.
All right. So you guys are all standing out in front of the blacksmith shop, and what do you guys want to do? Ink had pointed out a couple of different attractions in town. He had mentioned that there's a bathhouse. He had mentioned Temple Town, of course. The docks are basically what you can see. If you want to get closer, you could probably see more of the ships that are there. There's the brothel. In Hawk, you know that there are like 3 major taverns and inns in town.
What time of day is it?
It's like afternoon at this point.
Getting towards evening, or well, we'd want to find a place to sleep for the night.
I actually have a suggestion for that. I've come back here to sell game a couple of times, and I usually stay at a little inn called Redcap's Rest. The man who runs it, Isaac Bellow, is a very nice man. I could not think of a better inn to stay at here.
Excellent. So it seems like we've gotten that sorted out.
No one else gonna say anything. Oh.
Yeah. I was gonna say, do you lead the way, or is anyone gonna chat more over here?
Demir looks a little uncomfortable, but she doesn't say anything.
I mean,
We
we're
are
just
going back to the
this
strangers'
person like right off the bat and just go exactly where he tells us to go and say, okay, if you want to get mugged in the middle of the night. I don't say that out loud, but Liz is kind of sulking anyways, so he's not really talking.
Hawk could probably feel the suspicious energy coming off of you two, directed directly at him. Because, like, I'm just imagining like a lot of like concerned gazing.
The really dangerous ones.
What if why don't we look around, see what options we have before making a decision?
If you want to do that, I won't say no, but I've already paid for a room there, so I may sleep elsewhere.
So Ink had mentioned a couple places to stay. If you want to be really classy, you could potentially stay in the Siren's Call, which was the brothel he had mentioned.
Classy?
Not too far from the Siren's Call. There's a poor quality inn. It's in more rougher side of town called the Hornet's Nest. Near Templetown, the West Road. There's the one that Hawk mentioned called the Red Cap's Rest, and some of you more familiar with reading about extraplanar creatures such as Levy. You know that a red cap is a type of fae, or kind of little shifty bastards. And then in the Wise District, where the town's leaders live along where the archive is, there's a aristocratic inn called Emilira's Rose, which definitely sounds like an elven name.
I'd be drawn towards the nicer place.
I'm gonna be real honest, Demir is also.
The nicer place and the more like active and fun area of town. But also I'm pouting, so.
Okay, so you guys start to head towards
Wait.
Wise District.
As we start to walk, or like before, we start walk after Tobias makes the suggestions stuff, he nervously, like he's not confident in himself at all, turns to Demir and says, shall we? And he's like looking kind of towards the ground as he raises his arm just a teeny bit. Can be taken as an indication of let's walk, or you can put your arm in mine again.
You did this to me.
Demir smiles very brightly and links her arm into his. And then we shall.
As they start walking, Demir is pretty certain she could just... Tobias is vibrating out of his nerves are so shot. He is like, it's someone is just like taking him by the back and it's just like as they're walking. He's like, okay.
Okay.
I'm close
to someone. Help. Oh, I love Tobias already.
All right, so
Little
you
shit.
start to head towards
Careful
the
now, Lish. If you
Wise
glare too hard, he will
District.
start to cry.
Lish isn't glaring at you. Oh, by all means, he's not even looking at you.
Oh.
It doesn't matter to him.
I know Avery wants to get us on track, but real quick, Hawk's gonna like take B aside a little bit and ask, "Are those two always like that?"
Which two are you referring to?
He's like,
There's a lot of
like,
twos.
while Lish and Demir are looking away from him, he like points his index and his middle like towards both of them interchangeably, like in a V shape.
Going like this.
Yeah, like pointing at them with the V. Just like, are those two always like that? That's a question for B if Ashlyn's falling asleep.
It's round to Garcia.
Ashlyn, are you alive?
I am sorry, I had my mic turned off.
Ah, okay. Hawk's asking B, pointing at Lish and Demir while their backs are turned. Are they always like that?
Get it from Garcia.
Always.
Hawk just sort of like nods a little and then keeps walking.
So as you guys start to head towards the Wise District, Ink before had said that most of the governmental buildings are located here. And you can see that like this section of town, it is very fancy. There seem to be more guards walking around the perimeter of this district, kind of like making sure none of the rabble get in, and they actually do eye a couple of you as you go in.
How dare you insinuate that we're rabble?
It's okay. It's
That we're
mostly
plebeians.
Tobias and Hawk that they're looking at.
Fair. Very fair.
Demir has her like is standing up straight, like elegant walk, like I belong here.
Then Tobias looks like he's gonna fucking die.
They definitely give Levy some looks too, the self-proclaimed farm girl. But you guys,
Self-proclaimed farm girl.
You guys have not done anything yet, but they're definitely watching you guys. The closest building to the entrance of the district is a large, very impressive looking building with huge doors with columns on either side, and it's almost like a wizard tower in a way. You can tell that there are multiple floors, and the windows that are visible from the outside are covered on the inside by large, expensive-looking curtains. And as you continue on, there is a temple, and there's another temple there. Of a and the symbol there is not dissimilar to the amulet you guys had found, but instead of a single eye in with a star in it, there's an eye surrounded by stars. And then there's one that's clearly the town hall, much bigger and fancier than the rest of the buildings. There are different manors for like the most wealthy merchants of the city, interspersed with private parks and gardens and all that stuff. And if you guys want to roll investigation to try to find the inn, so you guys don't just wander into someone else's house.
Well, I rolled a 7.
I rolled a 10.
So we do wander to someone's house.
Oh no!
Your house shouldn't have had a sign out front.
What was it? Insight?
Investigation.
Investigation. That's 10. I'm not any better. My rolls are weak.
This district is too fancy.
Yeah, you guys are not familiar with this district at all, and you kind of end up getting twisted around in the streets.
Right back where we started.
And eventually, a guard approaches you guys. Excuse me, what are you doing here?
Looking for the inn?
Kind of looks you up and down. And says, well, there is Melara's Rose if you think you can afford it. Otherwise, you might be looking for the Red Cap's Rest.
Oh, we can afford it.
I can, ma'am. You want me to pick this up?
And he kind of looks skeptical, folds his arms, but gives you directions to Melara's Rose. And I can spell that out for you guys. MAE'*LYRRA as Rose.
How do you spell Rose again?
RYSV.
Thank you.
Rosed.
ROWS. Rose.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
that's it. They're tossed into the chat. So he gives you directions to the Rose, and this is it looks pretty expensive. It's made of marble, and it has kind of a cylindrical appearance. And there's steps leading up to it, and there's an arched doorway with gold and purple pillars holding up the walls, and each of those have vining roses growing up on them. Do you head inside?
As we're walking that way, Demir is going to kind of lean into Tobias and kind of like, you can't afford this, right?
I don't know. His voice kind of cracks a little when he says that.
I wonder if they'll give you a room for one tanned hide. Oh wait, it's not tanned yet. Oh. I don't say that in character. That's just me taking the piss.
Thank you. I wish it was in character.
Oh, with a body shot.
You don't have
Um,
much gold on you.
What are you doing? Stop it.
Tells me there's a game going on in the background.
I got some for maybe. That look, you don't. I'm fine sleeping out in the woods. You don't have to worry about me.
If we're being real honest, I've never had to pay for these kinds of things before.
To be honest, I think this is the largest town I've ever been in.
Well, let's see.
We can always say no.
This is gonna be good. I can already tell.
And Tamir is going to, I guess, make her way into the inn if we've arrived.
all right. So as you make your way inside, the foyer is well lit when there are candles on hooks on the walls, and then there's a nice little crystal chandelier hanging down above a semicircular wooden oak desk, and from the candles on the walls, there's lots of pleasant scents of mostly floral, particularly rose scented for some reason. Standing at the desk, there's the clerk, a human woman, probably in her mid to late 20s, with straight red hair that's kind of plaited and off to the side. She has fair skin and freckles.
A fellow freckled person. Zamir is going to walk up to her and just, we'll need some rooms for the night.
Alrighty, how many would you like, and how many are you in your group?
Well, I'll need a room. I'm going to look back at the party, just kind of, let's see.
I'd like to note that Hawk's not standing with them if everyone else is inside.
All right.
Are you just standing outside?
He is standing outside because he completely expects everyone to come right back out.
I believe we'll need 4 rooms.
All right, and will you be having the general suite, the lady suite, or the diplomatic suite?
Well, 2 lady suites, and I suppose the gentleman here can have a standard suite.
All right.
3 lady suites, apologies.
3 lady suites. So that would be about 70 gold then.
I think I'll go sleep in the woods. Tobias just kind of quietly turns around and walks back out the door. Head down.
Aaron also goes.
It's about 10 gold for the general suite, and then 20 for the lady suite.
Oh, you know,
If it's 50 then for the diplomatic suite.
You know, I find my coin purse a little light at the moment. Excuse me. I am going to, like, blushing furiously follow after Tobias and kind of grab onto his arm a little tighter than probably before, and just, oh. You get the sense this is the first time she's ever had to not afford something.
Oh.
Ooh.
So the desk clerk, she kind of just raises her eyebrows but doesn't say anything and watches you all leave.
I think Lish would catch Demir by the arm as she walks by him, because he was kind of over by the doorway, and just say to her, "Do you want to stay here for the night?" Just a Demir.
You have gold.
He just looks at her.
Yes.
Okay. And I will go up to the lady and pay for just a suite.
Are you getting the general suite, the ladies suite, or the diplomatic suite?
General suite.
General suite, okay. So you can take 10 gold from your inventory. She says, her face kind of brightens when she sees someone that's willing to pay. And
Ooh.
Alrighty. And will you be requiring any companionship this evening?
No, I have my own.
Very well. And she kind of snaps and beckons, and an attendant comes over. Says, this one is also a human woman, a little bit younger than the desk clerk. And she has jet black hair that just goes down to her shoulders. And says, "Alrighty, sir, if you'd follow me up this way," starts leading way to the bedroom.
Yep.
And this first floor, this building is cylindrical. There are steps that go up to the second floor, and leads you to the second floor. There are more floors that go up, and unlocks bedroom door, hands you the key, and says, "Enjoy your stay," and heads back down to the lobby. And in this room, it's pretty fancy. Got only one bed, since you asked for the general suite. But it has a stained glass window there in pink wallpaper. There's a desk there with extra sheets of paper and a quill on it, should you so desire. One bed. There is also a wardrobe in there. All of the bed, the desk, and the wardrobe are all made out of the same material. And they're all wooden. And it's a canvas bed. It's got the posts on it with the canvas on it, curtains.
Demir is going to, still blushing kind of heavily, kind of goes into the room and lays down on the bed with just a bed, finally.
A real bed.
A real bed.
Oh shit.
Not just the floor.
A 10 gold bed.
I mean, that's nice.
It's pretty comfortable. Yeah.
I wasn't saying it wasn't.
One of the most comfortable beds you've slept in a long while. The pillows are soft and you kind of sink into it a little bit. The blankets are sturdy. The cover is one you're laying on. It's sturdy, but the sheets underneath it are silky.
Excellent.
Nish kind of stands in the doorway with the door open, tapping the key in the palm of his hand, kind of gestures towards the door threshold and says, "There's a very nice threshold here if you'd like to make use of those horseshoes you got earlier."
Zamir kind of sits up a little and looks at him and doesn't really say anything to that, and just kind of sets her bags down in the closet and we should probably go find the others.
Kind of sighs. If you wish.
Yeah.
He's just waiting in the threshold. He doesn't have any bags to put down, so.
Brings me to everyone else. What are you guys doing? You had gone into the lobby, and it became clear you couldn't pay. Lish stepped in and whisked Demir away with them.
Hawk's leaning against the wall outside the doorway and just watches everyone leave. Well, everyone except Lish and Demir, of course.
Not gonna lie,
we would go back to Hawk and stay at the inn that he had recommended.
Sorry, what's out of character?
Okay, so out of character, but not gonna lie, I thought when Lish and Demir said they're interested in the fancy place, I didn't know they meant the aristocratic place. I thought they meant the place.
Oh,
The which?
So I was like, that could the brothel place, the Siren's Call.
that's
so
a different building.
This could be a funny interaction for Tobias, and then it's like went to the aristocratic place. I'm like, all right, not what I expected. Still a funny interaction though.
The same thought went through my head.
Yeah. Anyway, as Hawk watches everyone exit the lobby again, he's just going to speak and say, "Well, that went about as I expected, I guess. Redcap's Rest, then? I know where it is."
Certainly.
All right. Hawk just like starts moving and like gently beckons for everyone to follow, like looking to the side, arm sticking out, just like gently waving forward. And assuming no one gets in their way, he should know the way back.
Yeah. You've been staying there for a couple of days. It's near Templetown, just to the south a little bit, so a little bit closer to the docks. It's simple, but rather large. And by the way, as you're making your way there, Lish and Demir catch up with you a little bit. When you get there, there's the tavern at the bottom, large enough for around a dozen or so tables. It doesn't have too much decor, but it's got its own kind of charm. There's a bard standing in the corner, trying to find his name. Yeah, he's a halfling. He's standing in the corner. He's playing his flute. And he's not a terrible guy, but he's not the best you've ever heard. He's just doing his thing. And there are people chattering, and you kind of get the vibe that this is a good inn to stay in if you're one of the merchants coming in on a ship, staying here, chatting up the couple of the locals. There's the barmaid, who's a half-elf woman, and looking at her, she's got kind of a butchy haircut. She's got brown hair and kind of golden eyes, and got kind of broad shoulders, and you kind of get the vibe that she may double as the bouncer. And behind the counter, there's a human man, probably in his mid to late 40s, whom Hawk recognizes as Isaac Bellow. And he's kind of like, he's cheerful, chatting up a couple of the people sitting at the bar. He's doing his own thing. He's vibing. He's happy to be there. He's like, fuck yeah, this is my business. I'm here. I'm enjoying it. This is what I'm meant to be doing. There's
Vibes aplenty.
a brief, kind of small spiral staircase towards the back of the tavern that leads to a landing before progressing up to the second floor where the first layer of rooms are, and then beyond that there's Hawk knows that there's another staircase that leads up to some other rooms along where Isaac has his office. There's people cheering, chatting. Might actually change it to the tavern ambiance now.
Good idea.
There's people chatting. It's cheerful. The halfling bard is playing his flute. Guys are hanging out now.
Right. We'd best get some rooms for everyone then, right? We just need to talk to Isaac over there. Hawk will.
Tobias is...
Hmm?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say Tobias is looking around a little skeptically, like he's not, well, not so much skeptically, but just a little fried.
Hawk's going to already be walking up to the bar near Isaac, perhaps waving him down as he approaches.
He recognizes Hawk and waves back, and he's like, "Hey, what can I do for you? How you doing today? You want another night? I presume I still got your room ready for you."
Yes, that'd be great. Thank you. I've also found some friends, may not be the right word yet, but they will need a room.
All right. Well, you know the price. Gold piece per evening, per room. Rooms for people to double up as well. No problem there. How many will you be needing?
Good question. Hawk looks back and says, how many rooms do we need? You can share if needed.
I don't mind rooming with you if you've got space.
Sure. Cat.
All right.
I see cat.
Erin and Hawk are rooming together. Levy will kind of nudge Tobias and say, I can room with you if you want.
Tobias kind of takes a moment. It's like, look, appears much more frazzled, almost frantic, where his eyes are flicking between the innkeeper and the door. But then when Levy speaks to him and stuff, he kind of focuses on her for a moment before closing his eyes, kind of relenting and going, sure.
I can pay for it. And she pulls out a gold piece. Ruth, when you're listening to this later, I'm sorry, I'm stealing gold piece from you.
Commit crime.
Oh no.
Bee will kind of coo at the two of them and tilt her head.
Wow, that was...
You're cooing at Tobias and Levy.
Yeah.
Tobias is going to flush a little.
Sounds like it'll be 3 rooms then, including mine. What was your name again? He points to Aaron.
Aaron.
Aaron. He'll be rooming with me. Do you want to pay, Aaron, or should I?
Yeah, I can.
All right.
How much?
Just 1 gold. None of you can see it, but I'm like actually looking backwards right now. Help.
I'm gonna fork that over.
Yeah. Levy passes over gold too. Can mark that down on your character sheets. And Isaac cheerfully takes the gold, puts it under the counter, and passes you guys the room keys.
Huck nods, thanks Isaac, and brings Tobias his Tobias? Tobias. He brings Tobias his key and says, "You look a little overwhelmed. Are you all right?"
I'm fine. I just...
All right.
Not
The rooms are much quieter, don't worry.
Hey, the dresser is ready. You can stop by.
He will take the key.
Hawk backs off after he hands over the key and starts climbing the stairs to his room.
How late is it? Is it getting real late or still evening, early evening?
I mean, it's getting to be evening at this point since you guys walked. We're walking all around the city today, so like it's around sunset. You might be time for like dinner and stuff, chatting. If you're more of a recluse, sitting in your room and reading a book, I think that's what Ruby's gonna do. Yeah.
After a while, Hawk will come back.
Okay. Isaac, the owner of the inn, he's pretty cheerful. He will try and talk to you guys if you're staying at the bar for too long. He's eager to tell people the story of why his inn is named the way it is.
I'm interested in that.
Why is his inn named the way it is?
He is happy to find someone who's willing to listen to his story. He tells a story about how he has always wanted to be a business owner, run his own business, and he grew up as a farm boy and then came to Opias, and where he worked on the docks until he was eventually able to save up to buy this old inn that had been shut down. And when he got in there, he found a red cap in the basement and had to call the guards to dispose of it. Once the red cap was taken care of, red caps are evil creatures, so he does not feel too bad about it. After all, he knows that once killed, it will go back to the Feywild. He's pretty sure.
He's pretty sure.
Yeah, he found it in the basement, and then he figures, well, why not name his new business after this little creature that had been living in the basement and destroying things. So
I think that's quite the honorable thing to do for your slain opponent.
So yeah, he's a cheerful dude. Is anyone having any drinks or anything?
Yes.
I will take a drink. It might do you well to protect against those sorts of creatures in your establishment.
Is to be like a door-to-door salesman for anti-Fae stuff. Just like, hello, excuse me, do you have a moment to talk about anti-Fae?
You have a moment to talk about how
me,
terrible
are you
Fae
ever
are.
interested in my wards and services?
Menace on society.
Anti-Fae.
It's a wonderful thought.
For different prices for different drinks. If anyone's having any ale, it's 4 copper pieces per mug. These guys do take change, by the way. They're an actual establishment.
That's
so you can, if you're having ale, you can mark that down. If you guys are ordering a pitcher of wine for the group, it's 2 silver pieces. By the way, in the inn at the Rose, the room, there was a bottle of wine there on the desk.
Flower petals all over the place. Little chocolate pack on the table with the wine.
There is a little piece of chocolate on the pillow, but not here. Here it looks like exactly what you're picturing.
Right in the garbage.
Wooden beds, not as fancy. There isn't a carpet. There's wooden floorboards. They creak a little bit. But
old
green
medieval
covers
tavern.
maybe
But we're supporting a small business owner.
Yeah.
The blankets are a little bit scratchy, but like they're not terrible. You've seen worse. There is a smaller wardrobe in there too, but 2 beds per room.
I will take an ale.
All right. So you can mark down 4 copper pieces. And Isaac makes it clear to you that if you're hungry, let him know and he'll be happy to get you a meal.
Hawk's gonna order water to be polite and not drink it.
All right.
Food.
Aaron is going to order ale, but for once is going to like drink it at a slow and reasonable pace and probably just have the one.
What?
I know, right?
Character development this early on?
I mean, hey, you know what they say about barbarians? They're raging drunks.
So there, in terms of food, there's for dinners there's meat platter that would feed a couple of you, like 2 people, large enough. Otherwise, there's some salads, which oddly, looking around at the patrons, you get the impression it's not ordered all that often. Lots of fish meals, but nothing fancy like sushi or anything. But yeah. If anyone's ordering a meal, that is 3 silver pieces.
Orders something to be polite, doesn't order anything, doesn't care about politeness. He watches Aaron order Aaron's ale and is just like, just kind of watching a little bit like,
It's gonna be another of those nights.
He's a little dubious.
I wasn't around for the first instance, but something tells me that's a good thing.
We may have a drinking problem.
Oh no.
We is a strong word.
Amazing.
Tobias is gonna be up in his room. He doesn't have energy for people.
Levy's
run out.
Levy's up there too. She's not feeling particularly chatty. She's mostly just up there kind of stimming, doing her own thing.
Hawk grabs Aaron's ear for a little bit. Metaphorically, not literally. And asks, that man and that girl, I haven't met them yet. I also didn't get the other 2's names.
Well, let's see.
We're like right here listening to your whispered chat.
He's not whispering, he just naturally speaks low.
Nice. Well, yeah, there's me, Aaron, and Pookie, and that is Lish, and that's Demir. And the 2 up there are Tobias and Levy.
Right. Okay. I'll try and remember that.
Yeah.
When I ran into them, Lish and Demir, right?
Yeah, those 2.
Yes. They mentioned that the rest of you sort of just followed them?
Somewhat, yeah. I believe we're officially here for something Demir wanted.
Right. Why are you out here then, if I may ask?
Well, we all sort of fell in with each other, and I'm trying to stay with the group. think, as I mentioned, has something, and then after that, as I think I also mentioned, now that I'm thinking about it, Levy has someone that she's looking for, that I promised to help her find.
Oh, you didn't say it was Levy, but you did say that you did mention that promise. Yes.
Yes, that was to Levy. Go upstairs.
Tobias then he seems rather shy.
I do get that impression.
Is he single?
Well,
He can be. Yeah.
Eyebrow waggling. Well then, maybe I might. Do you think he needs checking on?
I don't know. He and Levy together, and I think they do a pretty good job looking after each other.
I saw him cry in the woods.
That's fair.
Then. Well.
You and Lish can come cry in the woods together. It'll be fine.
I do get the sense that is the type to sort out his own problems, though.
Right. That said, thank you for not being afraid.
Of course.
Or suspicious, I guess.
I mean, you seem fine. Seem like you're about as confused as the rest of us.
What perfect music.
I guess you could say that. I do notice the suspiciousness that I guess exude. I get looks quite often, and I know why. It's the mask.
Yeah. That is probably it. But if it's not one thing, it's something else. People are always going to be looking at you.
Hawk just sort of like sagely nods.
I say with my glowing eyes and shadow and burns and...
He still isn't drinking his water, by the way. That cup has not left the counter.
Nice.
Take your mask off, Mandalorian.
And when he's sipping, and honestly, from Hawk's shoes, it looks like he might have a good relationship with alcohol.
Doubt. Pressing X to doubt. I am spamming that X button.
Spamming X.
If it goes horribly wrong, you'll be spamming F for not too long.
It's been that close.
I am not
After
currently in a pool of vomit. Tonight is a good night.
After he finishes his short conversation with Aaron, Hawk does like nervously glance over to Lish and Demir before looking back at his drink.
I don't think Demir and Lish are like talking much. I'm very much like listening in on what you guys are saying.
Are you talking shit about me?
Well, he can hear. You're not exactly hiding what you're saying.
Nope.
Just having a friendly conversation about who everyone in the party
know,
is.
He is Hawk, and that is impossible.
So, just observing.
And then,
waiting.
At realizing that conversation has reached its end, it's gonna look around like, I think I might be feeling kind of hungry. Would anyone like to split the meat platter?
I ate recently, thank you.
Understandable.
Sure.
Perfect.
Lish kind of looks at Demir like, you're gonna regret it. Like you always regret it.
Please, you're gonna regret something.
There's so many regrets in my life. So many regrets.
Hella.
Yeah, Lish doesn't indicate he wants anything.
How much was it for a meat platter again?
Meat platter would be 6 silver pieces, but it's enough to feed like 2 people.
All right, I'll put in my 3.
Let's see, what change do I have? I do not have change, so I'm just gonna be throwing a gold, I guess. It's an establishment.
He will coo in and offer to split with you.
Yeah, us. And I mean, if anyone else wants to just grab something off of it, that's fine.
The barmaid comes by, kind of sweeps up the gold, takes you guys' orders, and heads off. And Hawk, by the way, you would know that her name is Celia Forestier.
Celia Forestier? Forestier?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Like French.
Is she pretty?
She
did describe him. Or her.
Yeah, she
straight red hair, freckles.
Yeah, she's pretty. She's kind of butch looking. Got like the undercut, and then with not very much hair on the top. Got brown hair and then golden eyes, and she's a half elf. Broad shoulders, and kind of muscled arms.
Would knock you
she's
out.
pretty, but I'm gay, so.
No, that's valid.
Very valid, honestly, same.
And she comes back a few minutes later with the meat platter, and there's like sausages, maybe a couple ribs on there, salami, you know.
Meat.
Gonna eat some meat.
God, I'm so hungry. Like, out of character.
I mean, same. But don't worry, we're going to be wrapping up soon.
Oh, I know. It's closing in on 1.
Yeah.
Demir is going to kind of like eat, drink her drink, maybe order a second one. If I finish my drink. So I should deduct. Yeah, so I'm going to kind of get a few drinks in, so I'm a little inhibition lowered, and probably at that point the food is mostly picked up. And I am going to put an arm on Erin's shoulder and say, "Can I talk to you?"
Us. Did you?
So I am going to drag him over to, if there's like a table in a corner somewhere that is like not really occupied.
Yeah, easy enough. You I mean, it's not crowded exactly, but there are a lot of people. But if your aim is to find a space where you won't be able to be overheard at the table that you're currently at with your companions, you could easily enough move to an area, get a few tables between you. There's a couple of the table you find. You stand next to it. There's a couple of dudes playing cards, but they kind of glance up at you and they're completely disinterested. It's the kind of glance like, oh yeah, there are people there now. Okay, but I'm playing poker. So,
and I'm going to like kind of take him by the back of the neck a little and sit him down and say, "Hey, Erin, what the hell is your damage?" Actually, no, wait, never mind. I don't want to know that. Either you get your shit together or you get lost. If you freak out like you did back there in the caves with the bandits, you aren't going to just get yourself killed, but the rest of us as well. So listen, I get it. People die.
Bandit style. People go picking bigger fights than they can chew, and that's what they do. And if you are going to step up to the plate and deal with them, you've got to accept that you are going to be responsible for them dying. And it's great that you don't want to kill them or whatever the hell, but the guy on the other end of that big old hand axe of yours might not have as good a heart. So, either you buckle down and get your shit together, or you can get the hell out of here. And I'm going to take the cold axe dagger that I purchased earlier, or cold iron dagger that I purchased earlier, and put it on the table in front of Aaron. So, you can leave, and this can serve as protection from whatever the hell you've been wrapped up into by my husband, or you can choose to stay. But either way, get your shit together. There's no shame in admitting that you're not cut out for a job, kid. And I will leave it at that.
I assume you head back to the table. Erin, you watch Demir head back to the table, rejoin the others, save for Levi and Tobias.
And actually, after that, I'm going to go over to Lish and kind of put my arm around his neck and whisper in Sylvan,
Choke him out.
Let's go back.
Is it late enough already?
I'm done.
Cool.
Take me back to the hotel.
We will very much do that.
So you two head back to Maylyra's Rose, the fancy rich people's inn. And what's everyone else doing? Erin, you're kind of abandoned in the corner.
Yep.
There. Do you stay over there? Or do you head back and join everyone else, or you go to bed or something else?
I'm gonna be there for a few minutes.
When it gets close to /at 8, Tobias is going to leave the tavern to head to the blacksmith to get the leather.
Okay. Yeah. Ushkal's there. I mean, he's getting ready to wrap up for the evening. That much is clear. But he sees you come in, and he hands over the leather pretty easily. Says, come back anytime. And when we head out, you kind of hear him lock the door because it's evening time. He was just you get the impression that he was waiting for you to come back before wrapping up his shop and closing down for the day. And when you get back to your room, Levi has fallen asleep. Is anyone else doing anything for the evening?
I think once people start breaking off, Aaron is going to return to the table, pretty normal, and order another drink.
Being told not to drink drives to drink.
Okay, and remember to please keep track of your coin. For each mug of ale, it's 4 copper pieces.
Right.
Yep. I don't know, just casually chat with the people still around.
Hawk lets Aaron know that he's heading to bed and proceeds to move.
He's probably still down there.
Key. In that case, I guess I'm conversing with B.
He'll kind of tilt her head at you.
Oh God. What even do I have that I could talk about? So, you more used to like the outside camping we've been doing, or is the hotel gonna be a good return to form for you?
Inside camping.
Understandable. Tail.
Conversations at the Kenku.
You?
Yeah, mostly just, set up wherever I happen to be at the night, find a nice spot to sleep. Actually, some of the camps we've made have been a bit nicer than I'm used to. The cave, it's been a while since I'd slept like in a cave or something before that. I'm just out on the fields. It'll be interesting.
Sounds like a bone cracked.
An earbud dropped.
Well, it sounded like it'll be interesting, and it breaks his arm or something. I'm like, what the shit?
Snapped his neck.
Interesting. Sleeping somewhere where I won't be able to look up at the night sky. It's been a while since I didn't at least have that option.
B nods and says, I look up at the sky also.
Yeah. Do you like picking up birds or something?
Or something.
And it's gonna just stare for a bit after that comment.
She will meet his gaze.
Okay. I will take that.
He's having a moment.
All right. Well, it'll probably be rude to back too late after Ox headed down.
Probably.
All right. See you tomorrow. And he's gonna how drunk am I at this point?
Oh, you've only paid for 2 ales, as far as I know.
I'm not that drunk. He's gonna stick out a hand for B.
2 ales and a barbarian body. I don't know.
I mean, if he's a drunk barbarian, then he's probably got a much higher tolerance.
I'm hella drunk. B, any response to that?
She will kind of watch you go and then go over to the window and look outside for a second.
Precious.
All right, and if everyone's wrapping up for the evening,
when Demir and Lish get back to the hotel, Demir doesn't really say anything on the way over, but she kind of sticks a little closer to him.
I think he's gonna ask what she said to Aaron. What on earth did you say to him to make his face do that?
I just told him to get a grip.
Oh, wise word.
I don't want him killing the others because of his stupidity.
We agree.
So, I told him he can either get lost or he can get his shit together.
Sounds like a plan. And walk the rest of the way. Probably pretty quiet.
all right. So you two arrive back at your room.
Damir's going to kind of like hesitate at the door, and then Vivian, come to bed with me.
Whatever you wish.
I need to keep my mind off of. Just help me keep my mind off of things.
He takes her hand and kisses it. He says, Saphira, anything you want. And fade to black.
End scene, beginning of Act 2.
As you guys find your rest one way or another, turn my attention towards Demir, actually. You have a dream. It's a very odd dream. You find yourself in what feels like a sitting room, but one that's unfamiliar to you at the moment. The room is rather circular, and you before you is a table with a tea set on it, silver polished on a tray. Along the walls there are a couple of bookshelves, and next to this table there is a singular chair. Behind the bookshelf you can see a window. Well, at least you assume it's a window. There, as it's obscured by heavy curtains. The curtains are a sort of a midnight blue with a golden embroidery along the edges.
Going to sit in the chair and kind of look around a little. Is there anyone else in the room with me?
There's no one else in the room with you, but behind you there is a unusually large doorway. It's very wide and very tall. It's built for something much larger than you. And looking around, the style of the room, it's not the sort of style of your home. It is more like the continent you currently find yourself on. But it is very lavish and fine.
Let's see. I'm alone. I'm going to. Oh, I think I know what this is. I'm going to go over to the curtain and see if I can draw it back. If there is actually a window back there.
You are able to draw it back, and there is indeed a window. Roll an intelligence check for me.
Oh boy. Oh, that's not bad. That's a 18.
You actually do kind of recognize this. It sparks recognition for you. Looking at the window in the shape and style, it sort of reminds you of some of the windows you've actually seen in the architectural style within the Wise district of Opias that you currently find yourself in. However, beyond it's too dark to see right now. There are little glimmers of light in the distance. They could be stars, they could be lights from other windows. It's hard to tell.
Is there any roof or anything, or is it just pure black out there?
Roll a perception check.
Oh, not great. That is a 12.
12. Yeah, you can't really tell. You're looking out there, and there's little tiny pinpricks of light, but you can't really see much beyond there. It could just be because it's dark, or it could be dream logic, and there's not much out there to see. You're not sure which it is. You do hear something. The door behind you.
Oh, that I misclicked. My bad.
Sorry.
I'm going to walk over to it and try and listen through the door.
Behind the door, you hear sort of a rhythmic.
Is it like footsteps?
Yes, but they sound like very heavy footsteps.
Fairmain? I'm going to look around the room.
Like you're gonna be like looking on the bookshelves, trying to pull books, or are you just like glancing around?
I'm like looking around like I expect someone to show up any minute.
All right. You do not see anyone. Meanwhile, the footsteps are getting louder.
Is there anywhere to hide?
Roll investigation or perception, your choice.
That is a 17.
17. Your best bet probably would be to hide behind the curtain. Because there's not much in here. There's the table with one chair and the tea set. There's the bookshelves, and then there's the window with the curtain.
I'm going to go over to the window again, and with my back, is there glass in the window, or is it just empty?
There's glass in the window, yes.
I am going to try and open it if it's possible.
Looking around, there isn't really anything you could use to open the window. You could try to break the window.
I'm going to try and do that.
Okay. What are you going to use to try to break the window?
I'm going to grab one of the chairs and try and like smack it into the window.
Okay. So you grab the chair, smack it on the window, roll to hit.
All right. Do I add anything? Ooh, that's a natural 19. Right on.
Roll. Well, it's with your strength.
So that's a 21.
21. You see the window crack. They're little, it looks kind of like a spider web. They kind of shoot out from the point where the chair had impacted the window. And at this point, the footsteps have stopped. And you hear something hit against the door, like an impact, not quite knocking, but it only happens once. and then the door slowly starts to swing open.
Ah, shit. I'm going to try and throw the chair through the window again.
Roll the hit.
Oh god. Oh, that's 18.
18. There are more cracks now, but you get the impression that whatever the deal is with this window, there's some sort of magic involved with keeping it together.
Shit.
At this point, the door opens, and it's sort of difficult to see. There's because the creature is silhouetted from behind. The creature, however, is enormous. It's about the size of an ogre, but just based on your knowledge of ogres, which granted isn't very much, but you do know that whatever this creature is, it's something else, because you're pretty sure that ogres only have 2 arms. This one, however, has 4 arms. It's about the size of an ogre, and it has 4 arms and kind of wolfish-like legs. It opens the door, and it's silhouetted from behind, so you can't quite make out too many features of its face, but you can see that it has sort of a white mane and dark skin. And 2 of its arms are kind of bigger and meatier than the other arms. And its eyes, you can see from the silhouette, are glowing red.
Mm.
And that's when you wake up.
Oh boy.
So you wake up to find yourself in bed with Lish. It's your kind of internal clock tells you that it's early in the morning. Lish, would you be awake at this point?
Yeah. I mean, would she have shown like any kind of signs of distress throughout the night, or?
No, not really. Just sleeping, maybe frowning in sleep at most. But then again, Demir just sometimes does that around you for some reason.
Demir does all kinds of strange things that are incomprehensible.
I'm going to kind of like shoot up in bed when I wake up, and it kind of takes me a little bit, especially because we're in still a fancy room and like the same style. Like shoot up in bed and kind of like start gesturing towards the window before realizing, wait, I'm in bed. Oh wait. Oh. Then I'm going to force myself to sit back down.
I kind of sit up. I've gotten in the habit of at least pretending to be asleep when she sleeps. She gets mad at me when I don't. And so I kind of sit up and jerk up when she wakes up, and very concerned, maybe grasping towards her, like, "Are you okay? Saphira, what's wrong?"
I'm fine, it was just a dream.
Just a dream? What kind of dream?
Bad kind.
Bad kind, good kind.
Bad kind.
Well, you're okay. You haven't moved at all. You've been here, right here.
I'm going to kind of like lean into lean into him, yeah, kind of let him pull me back down.
if she's not gonna tell me anything about the dream.
I mean, there's nothing to tell. It's just a nightmare, that's all.
You say so.
Yeah. What time is it?
It's not light out yet.
It's probably about like 5:30ish.
Let's make the night go a little longer, huh?
See what I can do.
I'm going to like wrap my arm around his head and like pull him into a kiss.
And fade to black.
Right, and with that, I think we will call session there.
Sweet.
A dream.
Good game, guys. Yeah. There will be more dreams for different people in the future.
Uh-oh.
Yay.
But yeah, first one, guys. In the meantime, I'm considering making on the Discord just a page for a brief description of some of the NPCs you've met before.
Good
I just
idea,
thought that would be
actually.
helpful. I'm also considering actually uploading some of these recordings to YouTube and putting them in a playlist. So if anyone wants to listen to more than one of these sessions at once, it might make things a little bit easier, especially since they get lost in the chaos that is Discord.
You can
Don't
search
get me
up
wrong.
previous you go.
I am glad to have an active server. However, I'm just thinking it might make things easier for the future.
Private videos, though, yeah.
Sure.
Probably a decent idea, yeah.
But yeah, I can do that.
Privacy, that is.
So
Thanks.
much!
I'm down.
Thanks for a good session, guys.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for Hawk to cast even more suspicion on himself.
Right?
Yeah.
Wait for Mr. Steal Your Girl Tobias to.
Speaking of Tobias and technically Lish, this is what I've done so far during this session. But I'll finish it later. I accidentally made Lish hot. Sorry.
Oh, dang.
Accidentally.
My pen slipped. Oops.
The hunching and the cowering and the trembling.
Yes. Oh my god, that's wonderful.
Has such smug hippie energy, and I am all.
It's yep.
Honestly, thank you so much, Mackenzie. That is beautiful.
It's great.
Yeah, like I said, I do plan on doing a part of the actual line, but I wanted to get that first part.
It's so good.
Wasn't there another comic that we drew for a game we were in? I don't remember.
Oh yeah, it was the campaign with Marnum where
Godless play Despacito.
yeah,
Oh, that's
like,
right.
oh, that's so sad. Godless play Despacito.
I need to find that again. Hold on.
It's somewhere in the.
It's definitely
server.
somewhere. Where was it?
I think I've still got
Probably
the
back
image.
here. Alright. If you save the image, that's even better because finding it is definitely going to take a bit.
Yeah, I still have the image, the physical copy, and
Found
I'm
it.
pretty certain I still have the picture. Oh, there it is. You found it faster than I did.
I found it.
Damn, that was speedy.
Yeah, let me. Do you guys want to see it too?
Yes.
Yeah.
It took a bit of scrolling, but here it is. Oh, my files are too powerful. Damn it.
Oh my god.
Get fucked.
Discord, please. I'll just do this instead because it is a linkable.
Oh my god. Oh my god, that's wonderful. Damn, Lindsay, your art is great.
I love her art. It's
I
great.
sure hope it is. I got a fucking degree for this shit.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
All right.
And
Well-
looking at these two, like I'm noticing like a noticeable style improvement too. Like it looks so much more just
Oh, for real. Yeah.
yeah.
Like that was a couple years ago, that one.
It
between
was,
Stevie
yeah.
And Dogless, and this one's really good. with Lish. I mean, they're both good, but still, I love your art, Mackenzie, is what I'm trying to say.
Thank you.
So good.
And with that, guys, I'm going to call session and stop
All right.
recording. So thanks for a good session, guys.
Oh yeah. Can't wait for next
Thank
week.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See you guys around.